from Natalie. Sue, will you ever coach a WNBA team? No? Never?
Welcome to A Touch More, everybody. This is a very, very special episode. I don't think I'm nervous, but it's special because it's the mailbag episode, and we have no idea what you guys have sent in. We are flying blind, so stay tuned.
Plus, we have my good friend and former teammate, Lauren Cheney Holiday, on. We absolutely loved this conversation.
Such a great convo.
I just couldn't speak higher of Cheney. I love you so much. We can't wait to bring you that conversation. So let's just get into it. I'm Megan Rapinoe.
And I'm Sue Bird. This is A Touch More. Let's do it.
Support for A Touch More comes from Degree. When you're bringing your A game all day, you need odor control that can keep up with you. Well, the new Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray can do just that. It can keep you smelling and feeling great all day with 72-hour odor protection for your pits, chest, thighs, and more. It's designed to leave no residue after spraying, just a light, refreshing smell that gives you the confidence you need to overcome your limits. Buy the new Degree Whole Body Deo for under $10 at Walmart now. Mailbag.
Straight to the mailbag.
Dun, 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 dun.
From Instagram, Marisol asks, if given the opportunity, would Sue score a PK or Megan a three-pointer first? Is there a goalie? You'd score a three-pointer first. If there's a goalie, 1,000%.
I don't know.
What?
There's no totally harder to make a three-pointer than a penalty.
With a goalie? Wait, do you have defense on you?
No.
We need more, Marisol. We need more info.
Well,
if we're both wide open, then yeah, I'd probably just kick it straight.
well, no, you got to score against the goalie.
But then do you have defense?
No, the defense is the size of the hoop and the length from which I'm shooting. That's already hard enough.
I disagree. I think you hit the three first. I'm actually on your side. And I disagree.
Okay, great. Honestly, I'll take it. I'm making a three first. Make it rain. Okay. You
if
sure?
There's no goalie. No.
Yeah, if there's no goalie, of course. If you miss with there's no goalie, that's shocking.
It happens.
Is that a shot at me?
No.
I'm kidding.
Is that what you thought?
Imagine.
Some people
miss.
do. Yeah.
Some people miss the whole goal. Oh, Lord. Okay. From Instagram, Sue, when did you realize Pino, me, Megan, was one of the funniest people ever?
Oh, I actually have a moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I knew immediately, but there was this one particular moment we were with a group of friends and you held court. You had us all just in the palm of your hand for a good 45 minutes. We were actually waiting for our table at dinner. And so we're just kind of hanging around by a fire. Do you remember we were outside? And you were just going on. You were actually doing this whole thing about your grandpa Jack, your dad, and then Austin.
Gosh.
So 3 generations of Rapinos were living in the same house at the same time. And
yeah.
I mean, the stories about your grandpa Jack being like, Austin, stop using my lotion. Literally. But
he thought Austin was using it in his hair.
Yeah.
We don't know.
He
was using it on
different hair.
Dry skin.
Yeah. Dry skin.
We don't know.
He's super dry.
Yeah.
Driest 13-year-old you ever met. No, but again, I always knew you were funny. It's impossible not to know. But it was that particular moment where you held a group of people. You know what I mean?
I was doing my bit.
Yeah. You held us. Where I was like, oh, this bee's different.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome. Okay, next up, from Summer on Instagram. Will you do more episodes with athletes from different sports? I'm a runner, and I started listening after I saw Nikki Hiltz was going to be on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're getting into our guest vibe. We're getting more guests on.
You guys, we're figuring out how to do this. No, we love having other athletes. We love comparing and contrasting
the different perspectives,
mentalities and perspectives and training habits and what's hard and what's not. We totally geek out over that. It's really fun for us to have different athletes. I mean, we obviously play different sports, so we just do this ad nauseum. And we would love to have athletes of all types on. So PSA to all athletes. You're welcome on the pod.
The invite is out.
Yeah. Okay, from Nija on Instagram, what is your favorite part of the Olympics? What is your least favorite part of the Olympics?
Ooh, tough. My favorite part of the Olympics, I do enjoy opening ceremonies. It is a grind, so it might be my least favorite part too. It's a grind, but it is so fun. The energy is unmatched. The moment that the whole USA contingency is about to be announced and you're headed down the tunnel, right? You're in the bowels of a stadium and you're finally coming out into the stadium and everybody is chanting USA. That energy is unmatched. So that's probably my favorite. Obviously winning the gold medals. Yeah. Least favorite, I guess just how fast it is. It goes so fast. And because basketball is played throughout the entirety of the Olympics, you don't get to do as much as you'd like. You don't really get the downtime.
Yeah.
You're just in that mode the whole time. So that's probably my least favorite part. What about you?
Oh, my least favorite part, I mean, similar to you guys, but we start even before the tournament or before the games start. Our schedule is just hellacious. It's play, travel, train, play, travel, train, play, travel, train, play. So we play every third day. The roster's smaller. We're generally outside of the host city. Sometimes we'll have a game in the host city. But in London, we weren't in London until the final. So we're totally
You're never there.
out. Yeah. I mean, there is obviously branding and signage and all that stuff. And you do feel like you're in it, but we're just we don't get to go to the, opening ceremonies. We do get to go to the closing. So that was fun. We went and
I've never been to a closing.
You've never been to a closing? Yeah, that's wild. You guys always leave?
Yeah. Got to go back to the WNBA.
Yeah, that's right. Got
a game tomorrow.
Back to work. Yeah, so probably just how much we have to work during the Olympics. We don't really get to see a lot. And then the best is obviously winning.
Obviously.
And yeah, our final is usually a day or two before. So you could catch another event. You could just mess around, have the Olympic experience after that.
You came to our finals in 2012. Didn't even know you.
I know. Had my eye on you. Yeah. So probably that. Okay. From Natalie. Sue, will you ever coach a WNBA team? No? Never?
No, I'm joking. Never say never. I don't want to say never because then when I do it, somebody's going to replay this. It's going to be a whole thing. I don't see it right now, but never say never.
What would have to change about it so that you would want to? I feel like there's a big part of you that would want to, but then there's some travel and this, that, whatever that you just I
need a little more detoxing from. I always said a player's life and a coach's life, definitely different. It's obviously different jobs and the whole thing, but the life is very similar.
Oh yeah,
the life of the professional person in sports is very similar.
It's a grind.
Yeah. So I just need a little more. I like having my own schedule, except for when I have to fly back on hellacious flights to get here for this podcast. No, I'm joking. I like being on my own schedule, the travel of it. I think being a coach would be hard. I'm used to having control. Mm-hmm. As a player, you have a lot of control. There's uncontrollables, of course, but it's you doing it. Mm-hmm. As a coach, you have to find a way to let go of that. I feel like I would need some growth in that area to understand what that feels like. So there's a lot of reasons.
Well, me
nothing to do with the actual game of basketball.
Oh yeah, you would love that.
Yeah, I would love that.
Oh yeah, you would just be nerding out.
Yeah, I would love that.
Well, me as your boo, I'm gonna need the salaries of the coaches to go up before you make the commitment to be a head coach, which is basically all your time. So
yeah,
if anybody wants to get it up into the higher ranges.
Okay, so for you, it's just the money.
We can talk about it. Yeah, it's just the money. I don't care about your happiness or anything. What's in it for me?
Okay, so from Instagram, do you both still feel the need to nap since retirement? How has it affected your sleep pattern? I'm laughing because I don't think I've napped since I've retired, which is so backwards.
I've napped more.
Ugh, I've napped way less.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. I think I've gotten to that age. Don't they say like you actually don't age like year by year? You kind of hit these ages and then you just like age dramatically.
Yeah.
Something about, I don't know. I retired at like 41, 42. There's something about from like 42 to now, I've like hit that. Where I'm like, I only need a couple hours, not a couple. I can like survive on 5-6 hours now, whereas I used to die if I didn't get 8-9.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely in the higher ranges there.
Yeah, I'm
8,
old.
9. I'm napping more. I'm finding I just kind of like have time in the afternoon. I'm like, well, what am I doing? Read a little bit, fall asleep. I'm definitely not as like exhausted in the same way.
Yeah, you're not needing it as much.
Yeah.
That's how the sleep pattern, to answer the second part, has been affected.
Yeah.
You're just not as tired.
Also, you're like, when you're playing, you're just optimizing every part of your day. So now I'm tired because it's like I didn't optimize anything and I still had to get up early and like I didn't eat well or I drank last night or I didn't get enough sleep and I'm still having to do something. So that's probably more where my tiredness comes in, is when I've really just not taken care of myself in the way that my body is used to. So more naps for me. Okay. Last but not least, we have a voicemail. So let's listen.
Hey, Megan and Sue. I'm Liv, and I've got a question for both of you. Do you think they should add an and one rule to soccer? This question comes from my partner and I playing EA Sports FC, and I've been yelling, and one, when I think she's fouling me. She keeps telling me that they don't do that in football and doesn't agree with me that they should add this rule. So the question is, are you a Liv and believe that they should add the and one, or are you a Jess and think it doesn't belong in the sport?
I already know you're a Jess. I feel like soccer, more than any other sport, is like the historical nature of the game needs to be protected at all. The beautiful game needs to be protected at all costs. You would never add anything like that.
Well, I don't remember exactly what Daryl Morey said about
reducing players.
No, not the reducing players. About
his idea of
like
overtime.
Twos and threes. Like threes are just like 50% more than two. So it's like if you had an and one, you scored a goal and you get a chance to score another goal.
I actually don't
That's
even
like
really get
100%
it.
of
So
the-
you scored and got fouled? How often does that happen?
I don't know.
Like once in a blue. Like
I don't
feel
know.
like that never happens. When you guys get fouled, you get taken out.
Out.
Yeah.
I know. Everyone always says we dive, and we do, but also we do get taken out.
You get taken out.
Yeah. So it seems
I don't see how the and one plays out. So I might be Jess as well.
It seems improbable. I feel like a rule that could be added is the sin bin, where it's like if you get a bad
like
foul,
a penalty box,
and like you're out for 5 minutes. Your team has to play down for 5 minutes.
You're a bad girl.
Yeah, you bad girl box.
Did you know during the hockey game we went to, the PWH game, at one point one of the players from the Boston Fleet got a penalty and went to the penalty box, and they were like directly across. The box was like, so I took a picture of her. It was Emily Brown. I took a picture of it and I just put bad girl at the top. Like, you're a bad girl.
You're a bad girl.
So a month or so later, I'm like scrolling on my Instagrams and they all had that Instagram post printed and put onto a t-shirt.
Dad,
Yeah.
we need it.
And they did it in their like tunnel fit, their walk-in fit for their game.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hilarious.
I didn't know that. We need that shirt. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So I love
love
anyone
Cinda.
who's a bad girl. Go to the box.
You're in the box.
You're in the box.
All right.
Speaking of rule changes, I just want to say that I want the coaches challenge to be incorporated into college basketball. If you said right now, what's one thing you change about college basketball? I would say get rid of the reviews, add the coaches challenges.
And drop that shot clock down.
Well,
Jesus.
now you're getting greedy.
Oh my God. It never ends. Okay, y'all. That concludes our mailbag.
Our blind mailbag session. That wasn't so bad.
I loved it.
Yeah, we should do that more.
Thanks everybody for
was
all
fun.
the ways that you called and wrote in and gave us these great questions.
Yeah, appreciate it. We'll definitely be doing it again soon.
Absolutely. We're going to get to the interview now. We are so excited about this one. Our good friend Lauren Cheney Holiday joined us at the Sloan MIT Analytics Conference. Sue, you've been going for, the whole time I've known you. You've been going for, you're the OG.
I am
an
a proper.
OG.
I'm not like an OOG, but I think I'm falling in the OG category.
I think so
this was
too.
my 10th year, maybe. Anyways, I do love going. Selfishly, I get to meet and listen to so many smart people in so many different fields, but they really have done, and again, shout out to Jess Gelman, we talked about her during the interview or during the show. They've really done a good job of incorporating women in sports. You need conferences like this to have those conversations, to continue to, put women's sports at the forefront. So we're seeing that now. And we also saw it in talking to Lauren. She talked about the ways, obviously as a player and what that was like for her, but really the ways in which she's investing in the growth of women's sports, women's soccer specifically now. I thought that was really interesting. I mean, you've known her for a long time.
I've known her forever, yeah. And it's, she's just so candid in the interview. Also her experience. She's obviously married to Drew Holiday, who plays in the NBA. So what's that like? She has that perspective. She talks really frankly about the relationship and honestly the contract that he has and what that is enabling both of them to do off of the court. It's really cool. We have a great conversation. Cheney is just so smart and so genuine, and she always has been. And she's putting all of that effort into the business of women's sports.
I know.
Basically.
And I also really appreciate the way she talks about the current generation of players and just how she fangirls.
I know.
She loves them so much.
Yeah,
but then
so
she's
cute.
also like, listen, things got to be better too, So she's got both of those perspectives.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed listening to her talk about
she's
it.
the perfect auntie. We want to thank MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference and 42 Analytics, who have been using data analytics to support driving equity in women's sports. Invaluable. Thank you guys so much for having us and hosting us and allowing us to host this amazing interview. So let's just get right to it. Introducing Lauren Holiday.
Support for A Touch More comes from Degree. Our bodies can do incredible things. Running, lifting, doing inversions, holding long and difficult poses. It can feel great to push yourself. But another thing your body can do, especially after doing all that, is start to smell. While BO is a reminder of all your hard work, it's nice to be able to keep the aromas at bay. Luckily, the Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray is designed to help you smell pleasant throughout your busy day. It offers odor protection for all those in-between places that tend to hold odor the most, like your pits, chest, thighs, and more. It provides 72-hour odor control, and it's dermatologist tested and free of aluminum. It's designed to leave less residue and dries quickly after spraying, with a light and refreshing feeling on the skin. Whether you're hitting the gym, running errands, or just going about your day, Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray can keep you feeling fresh everywhere. Buy the new Degree Whole Body Deo for under $10 at Walmart now. Well, without further ado, we do have somebody sitting with us who knows a lot about the business of women's sports. World Cup champion, two-time Olympic gold medalist, Lauren Cheney Holiday. Welcome, Lauren.
Thanks for having me.
Now Boston's finest. Boston's finest. Boston's finest. All right, so before we get into a lot of the women's sports business stuff that you're getting into, something we talked about recently, it was during the Super Bowl, the Chiefs, they'd gone to the Super Bowl, 5 times, lost twice. Obviously, that means they've won 3. So this is the question we posed each other. Would you rather go to a World Cup final? Let's assume it was every year, not every 4. Would you rather go to a World Cup final 3 times and win 3, or go 5 and win 3, which means you lost twice?
Oh,
I know.
I like perfection. I'm super competitive, so 3 for 3 sounds pretty
Let's
dang
go.
good. But I think I would rather go 5 times.
But it means you were good enough to win and you lost.
I know, but I think of 2011, the World Cup, and when we lost to Japan. And it was brutal. I don't think you guys understand. We were really freaking good.
We were better, yeah.
And our team was we really liked each other.
Yeah, it was a good
It was a really, really, really good team. And everything seemed to align. And it was we beat Brazil in a crazy, crazy fashion. And it was oh no, this is our tournament. This is our game. And then we lost. And it was I think I learned more in that loss than I ever learned in a win.
I guess I forgot about the lessons and all that. Yes.
But also, I never wanted to lose again. I feel it was man, nothing is given, even though we know that as athletes. It felt it was written in the stars for us in 2011.
Oh, I was shocked. I was what do you, we lost? This is I thought we were just going to get here and win.
Yeah.
We were both subbed off in
Wait,
that game.
is that-
I would argue that did not help us win.
Fair.
you at halftime because they thought your ankle was bad, and I was like, it's fine.
Tape it up over
I was
the
like,
cleat. Like,
she's
what are we
fine.
doing?
What is she doing getting subbed out? This is insane.
Okay, can I tell a story about 2011 too?
Please.
So,
Yes.
2011, we like go in the meeting room. I am not starting. Meg is starting. Like, this is our normal thing. We also play 2 completely different positions. No big deal. And we're watching the first game of the World Cup together. And on the screen, it comes across. It's like Lauren Cheney is starting for Megan Rapinoe, and we're like,
Like on ESPN,
Yeah.
like the ticker.
and I'm like, what? And she's like, what? And I was like, I don't play left mid. And she's like, you don't play left mid. And I'm like,
I think you should be starting, just not a.
and literally, I said, Meg, I can't play left mid. She goes, I don't know if you should be playing left mid, but you should be on the field. And that was when I was like, oh, damn, like she believes in me. And she could be like, screw you. Like, why are you starting over me? Like, because to be fair, Meg should have been starting also.
That's right.
But she didn't.
That is correct.
She didn't. She was like, this is what you need to like focus on. This is your strength. This is what you do. You got this. You're going to be fine. And I think that was like my favorite part of 2011 was like, we were literally sitting next to each other, both shell-shocked. I'm starting. She's not. I'm playing a position I've never played before in my life. And she's like, no, you got it.
Yeah, like,
And
you'll be fine. But I'm pissed. and
I-
by the end, we were both starting.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, that just like is what women's sports should be about. All sports should be about.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that we were not on the field together. I
I
was
can't
like,
believe you found out on the ticker.
it was fucking crazy.
On the ticker. And also,
I was like, Pia.
you brought us all
Coach.
together to watch the game. You don't think you would have told us before, but hey,
I know.
you
I'm like, did you just tell them without telling us? This is.
it was
like,
wild.
What?
It was wild. Yeah.
Speaking of being in charge of your own media narrative, I mean, thanks a lot. Okay, so we're sort of newer to retirement. You're well into your retirement. How would you describe your relationship with women's sports? How has it changed over time? And are you watching as a fan or more of like with a business eye to it? Both. How's that whole relationship?
Yeah. So when I retired in 2015, I thought, oh, I'm retiring and I'm going to be like still very involved in the game and I'm going to like do other things like super impactful and I'm going to be all of the things. And then I got pregnant, diagnosed with a brain tumor, had my daughter 6 weeks early, end up having brain surgery 4 weeks later. And I literally wanted to hide from everyone. And I think it was like my way of healing, you know, like I needed a process. I needed to understand everything. And I wanted to be present. Like I wanted to be present with her. I wanted to be present with my family. Like I think I had a reality check of what mattered. And that lasted a total of 2 years. And then I was like, I have a daughter. What am I doing hiding? Like she needs to see that women are badass and she needs to see like what we're capable of. And that's when I started to like, okay, I'm gonna put myself out there. I want to be involved in sports, but I want to be involved in a way that like I'm able to change things. I don't want to just get involved and be like, oh, she put her name on something and everyone's happy. And so it took me a little while to really start to get into that. And now watching women's sports, I'm not only looking at it from an investment side, but like I'm a fan of our women's national team. Like I am an actual fan. Like I am texting people when Lily Johannes gets on the field and I'm like, she is badass. Like she's 17. I would have kicked the ball out of bounds 17 times at her age. And so I think I'm doing both. Like I'm a true fan of the game and of the team and of all the women. And then I'm also like, how can we make this even greater than what it already is? The growth is crazy from the time the NWSL started till now. And now it's, you know, like Meg said, like you could buy a team for nothing. You just had to be a dad of a daughter. And now it's completely changed.
You just signed the check, dad of a daughter.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's plenty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're like, he cares.
Awesome.
He cares. Yeah.
Dovetailing on that a little bit, last year, NWSL final, 970 967,900 viewers, incredible numbers. I'm sure you're following the W as well. We were awesome basketball players in our day.
We'll get into that later.
We're going to get to that later.
Phenomenal.
Just like, what's your reaction specifically to the NWSL numbers, but also just to the last year in women's sports? Like, how has that been for you just watching it?
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, you and I could have stories for days, but
we
like,
played in front of like 12 people at times. Not because we weren't entertaining, just I don't know why people weren't there.
Because no one knew that there was even a team.
No one even
in the
knew
city.
the game was there.
My reaction is like, that's low. Like, that number is still low for us. And like the amount of awareness and the amount, like, I don't think people realize people are more invested in women's sports because of our genuineness. Like, you guys were talking, and I wanted to butt in, but I didn't. I listened very well. But you guys were talking about just like kind of, you know, how that is like now for women. Like, how do you influence it as an athlete? How are you doing this? How are you doing that? And I'm like, women's sports was built on the back of women who cared about women. They didn't care about the celebrity. They didn't care about making money. Mia Hamm had no clue like the impact she was going to have on generations and generations to come. They cared about each other. How do we build each other up? They cared about growing the game, and they cared about little girls having someone to look up to and say, hey, I can do this. They cared about people being able to say, okay, these little girls, they don't have to just be this. They can be whatever they want to be. And I think that's the difference between women's sports and men's sports. And that's why I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface, because we care. And I feel like when you put love into something and you care so genuinely about it, it's just going to explode.
Yeah, well, I mean, to get into ownership, I think speaks to that as well. Like, you care. You want to be a part of this. You want to change it. You're obviously into that world now, as am I. Megan will get there eventually.
Yeah, I'm going to get there, guys. I'm going to get there, y'all.
Okay, we're waiting.
I know I'm not at your guys' level yet, but
Okay, I just want to point
I'm working hard.
But we are, as Megan mentioned, a little bit behind you. So when you already mentioned your journey and kind of like what made you want to get back out there in terms of having the impact on the game of soccer, now we're into ownership. What's like your vision on how your impact can be from the ownership side of things?
Yeah, I think that really when I've like thought about it and how I want to impact the game, is the word that always comes up is integrity, right? My husband plays in the NBA. I get to see ownership from the men's side, and then obviously I lived it on the women's side. And I think the common theme for me is like there is a lack of integrity from the top down in all sports. And in women's sports, it's so much worse because there's been so much abuse, you know? There's been so many things taken advantage of, women looked at as lesser, women looked at as whatever, men can do whatever they want or control it however they want. So I see that gap. But truly, in any business at the top, if there's not integrity, you don't have a product, right? And so I see this in women's sports. I see there's a lack of integrity from the top, whether it be whoever is leading it doesn't fully believe that it's going to get to $1 billion valuation, or they don't fully believe that the investment is worth it, or they don't see that their dollars are going to they're going to get paid back times 10 if they actually just invest in the women and invest in their facilities and invest in the betterment of the game. And so I think that my vision is like, how do you establish integrity from the top down? I already know our women are going to buy in. I already know that the players are going to buy in. But if you lie to them or you tell them, hey, we're going to do this, and then you do the opposite, there's a distrust between ownership and player. And I think that that's my vision, is like, how do we create a world, because I think women are going to do it first. How do we create a world in which there is integrity from the top down, and then every team in every league is going to want that model?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of times in sports, a franchise can get the tag of good culture.
Yep.
And you're like, no. It's the people in the franchise. If those people left, so would that culture. So I totally agree with you. Outside of some of the resistance you may have seen
Yeah.
in some of what you mentioned. What else has been kind of like the biggest challenge in being in the ownership group?
I think the biggest challenge is like opening doors for athletes. Like you think about a Michael Jordan, right? Like I don't know the whole story then. I don't know what happened when he got into ownership, but it seemed like they wanted him in that position. Fair. Mm-hmm. I would want Michael Jordan in that position also. But it's like, but what about female athletes who have made a fraction of what these male athletes have made? How are you giving them a platform to actually get involved? Do you know why I have the chance at ownership? Because of my husband. Truly. And like, I say that not because I'm like, oh, I'm so proud. It's like, well, he's made 10 times, 20 times more than I ever could have imagined making. And that's probably even light. And he says, I believe in women's sports too, and I believe in you, and go do it. But how many women have that? How many female athletes have went through and they're making that kind of money to be able to invest in? So it's like, what's the vehicle? Like, where are the owners that are saying, actually, I need to learn from you? Where are the billionaires saying, Sue, no, I want you to run it. Meg, I want you to run it. And I think that that's where there's a disconnect. We did that for Michael. Not that Michael couldn't buy a team by himself and he has the money, but there's a gap. Yeah, there's a wealth gap. And they're undervaluing. And so I think that that's the difference.
Where do you feel like retired players, like in the business development or the running of the teams, can be most impactful? Because I totally agree with what you're saying. It's like, I feel like I have, all of us have so much experience. We know the ins and outs. We know the long history. We know how to sell it. We know, what's coming next. Like, we understand what these players are going through. And yet, we don't have the money, so we're just going to be cut out. Where do you feel like we can have like the most impactful position in the business development? Or where would you like to have the most impact?
Yeah. Well, first, if anyone wants to give Meg $1 billion, she will be an owner, and she would be a great one. So there's that.
We'll run it together.
I think the positions that athletes can be in, like culture, obviously, right? But also just in the hiring process. Who knows better than us than what a good coach is? Who knows better than us what a good president would be? Like, what kind of rapport? We can ask the hard questions. No, how are you going to treat a player when you know you're going to trade them and da-da-da-da-da and this? What's your protocol? And how are we going to create a culture this way? What do you believe in? We could weed out people in 2 seconds. Just because we've lived it. Mm-hmm. You know what coaches you didn't like. You know what GMs you didn't like. We know what coaches we didn't like. We know what, you understand as a player when it was a really toxic culture. So it's like, how are we not being asked to be a part of the hiring process? Why would we not want Meg and Sue in the board meetings understanding who are we hiring? And how do we develop a league? Where's the development side? And I think in the NWSL, that's where we lack. Like, where are we developing? We have 16-year-olds. They're nowhere near ready. Mm-hmm. With that said, I love Lily Johannes. Like, I think she's Ali Sentnor. These are phenomenal athletes. But we're doing a disservice to them not having an entire development side for them. Not just physically, mentally, everything. Like, when I came into the national team, I didn't speak. I was 17 years old. I'm like, I'm not saying a word until someone talks to me, right? Yeah. But it's like, we had older players that were taking us under our wing and kind of guiding us through. But like, why are we not doing that for 16-year-olds? Like, we need a development side. There's so much that we can do. And I think that athletes would serve as the best, understanding of that.
Mm-hmm. That leads me to my next question. You were the best player in the NWSL for the whole time that you played in it. You were the first player to have your jersey retired.
Thank you.
Your legacy lives forever there. And such a huge part, give that up. Yeah. Such a huge part of the early growth and development of the league. Now the league's in its 14th year, 14th year. What do you feel like is success for the league? You touched on a little bit this sort of development part, but next 5-10 years, what do you feel like would be success for the NWSL moving forward?
I think facilities success would be, and I think we're doing it, making sure that we have very specific facilities for women, cutting edge, elite, top of the line programs for our specific female bodies, like investing in female bodies, understanding that, I think is success. I mean, on the other side, travel, I took 3 flights to get to Seattle once.
Yep, that's
I think we still beat them, but
You did.
I won't talk about it.
And that is why your jersey is retired.
had 2 really crushing losses to Cheney in the final, back-to-back years. It was
sorry about
awful.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you guys were better.
I think the
Really
travel is like a huge success. Like, how do we get them private travel? How are we treating them as they should be treated? Their bodies with recovery, everything, having that across the board. I think success is the valuations continuing to rise, but with no fluff, like real valuations. And I think the attendance numbers and the viewership, like those are going to show the success of the league. And most importantly, a healthy league. Like, stop with all the abuse and all of the shenanigans. Like, why are we rehiring? Why are we continuing the cycle? I think that we will truly hit like professionalism when we stop that.
Absolutely. So you are now advising Mercury 13, which owns FC Como in Italy. You've already talked about how your expertise in player treatment is kind of where you see you can have impact. I'm curious about what you're seeing in terms of the differences of working with a European club versus an NWSL club.
Sometimes I have PTSD because I feel like working with a European club is like 10 years behind the NWSL. And I'm going to Italy tomorrow to go and see Como women. And they're asking me for real feedback on their facilities, and I'm terrified. But they are, why I aligned with Mercury 13 and why I'm so passionate about them is because they want to make real change and they want to do it the right way. And so getting to advise them, say, hey, I don't see eye to eye with that, but maybe this has been really fun. But I think the European Women's League is a little bit behind the NWSL. And then you see the difference like in the WSL, and now they're getting players from the NWSL. That's been a big topic. Are we worried? Are we not? And I'm like, it's not about worrying. It's about bringing all of the leagues up. Like, how are we getting the WSL? Because right now it's about the top 4 teams maybe that could compete with the NWSL and in like salaries and things like that. And then it's like, okay, what about the Italys and the Spains, and how are we bringing all of those, even the Scandinavian countries, how are we bringing all of these leagues up? So that's more so how I look at it.
Yeah, you just brought up some of the poaching that's happening. Some of these European teams are taking some of the best players. Obviously, Naomi Girma is the most recent with this ginormous transfer fee. So I'm curious what you think about that, but what you think the impact is. Is it amazing that we're seeing this record-breaking transfer fee, right? Like, great, Naomi's gonna get paid all this money, or is it gonna ultimately hurt the NWSL, maybe even hurt the national team? I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
I think it can be both. Like, I think we can celebrate that transfer fee because way to go, girl. Huge Naomi Girma fan.
Huge.
Love her.
I know,
Wish
honestly,
I played with her.
Megan, you actually speak fondly of 2 people, Naomi and Lauren.
Yeah.
These are like her 2 absolute faves.
No shade.
Everybody else, she's
but-
like, no.
Yeah. No, as players, yeah.
Yeah.
And people just,
You speak in a very high regard. The way she speaks about you, I'm noticing it and how you describe Naomi. But sorry, continue.
So I think it can be both, right? I don't think because Naomi left, then the NWSL is crushed. But do I want Naomi in the NWSL? 1,000%. But I also think there's a way to honor, like, it can be our dream to go play in Europe. Like, it's a lot of girls' dreams to go play in Europe. Like, they have a vehicle to get there. They have the ability to go live a life in Europe and explore and also be a part of a soccer culture that is just not in America. Like, and I think that's beautiful and great. And then also, what are we doing with our salary cap? What are we doing to keep them here? What are we doing to get the best European players over. And so I think that these are good problems to have, and they're going to grow the league even more. So I think I sit in the place of both. Celebrate the $1 million transfer fee, celebrate Naomi, and I hope she crushes it. And I don't think it affects her on the national team. I truly believe she's the best defender in the world. And I don't think that that's going to change. But also, how do we get her home? And I think that that's a problem the NWSL has to figure out.
Yeah, I think it's more like how, because clearly there was something enticing about that. And there could be things, like you said, she's living in London and she might really want to do that and she wants to play overseas and play in Champions League. And that's something that NWSL is never going to be able to provide. Fine. That's not everybody's dream. But how do we make our environments irresistible, essentially?
1,000%.
So, I mean, I think part of the reason why she left was because of the environment in San Diego. It's like, I don't know what the practice facility is. The stadium field is wild. Like, other things happening. Maybe it's not the team she wants. So I think more than focusing on like, okay, a couple of players have left and freaking out about like, how do we keep our players? It's more just like, how do we make this entire league better? All the teams, all the facilities, and that goes to the greater business. But yeah, I'm kind of in it with you. I'm like, okay, she wants to go over there and play. Like,
totally.
You know, she probably won't want to live in Europe forever. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? I want to switch to the national team a little bit. Emma Hayes, they had their first, sort of like tournament loss. Emma Hayes had her first loss in She Believes Cup. I want to get your thoughts on that. There's a lot of like dissecting what this loss means. Does it mean anything?
They lost.
Yeah, they lost. The health of the team, their performance, like all of that. How are you looking at the team right now, and how did you view that She Believes Cup?
Okay, to be fair, and I want everyone to hear this, because I feel like when we were on the team, everyone was like, oh, those old national team players were such critics, right? Totally. Like, everyone was like, the 99ers hate us. And it's like, well, that's not true. Like, we want you to be great. And so I want to be clear, like, this is my favorite U.S. women's national team.
Oh, they're great.
Like, I love them. Watching at the Olympics, like, we were giddy.
Crying,
like
giddy, screaming,
screaming,
out.
Giddy, like so happy to watch them play.
Yeah, I love them.
And with that, I think they lost in the She Believes Cup. Big deal.
Yeah.
I think it's a time to examine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a time for competition. They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of pieces that they're going to have to put together. I don't envy Emma. And I think a loss is a loss. And I think that's what it was. I don't think it's anything bigger. I don't think we need to dissect it into like, they're going to fall apart. They're too young. They're too this. I think now is the time to lose.
Yeah, it's kind of like a perfect, I mean, it's like, of course, you never want to lose anything, but like, you did. So learn from it. Obviously, this front three is out. Naomi's gone. Rose is still out with injured. So there's a lot of players missing. I loved that all these players just got like thrown into the fire and was like, yeah, you go start. You go try to win the tournament. It's hard. That's going to be good because a lot of those players that were starting are probably going to be the players coming off the bench. Gives you an appreciation for how hard it is.
I agree.
Come off the bench, to start, to be the one where all the responsibility is, like all of that.
And it gives them a taste of what they want to fight for. Like if they never get to play, if they never get those minutes, if they're just the 10 minutes sub off the bench and they never actually get to play, you're so nervous going in the last 10 minutes or you can never get a rhythm. Mm-hmm. Like they actually got a chance to like see what it takes to play at that level against a really good Japan team.
Really good Japan team.
Well, so good.
I only know what I know. I was blown away by them.
You know, we hate playing against Japan.
I know you guys.
Like,
Japan is so good.
It's not that different in basketball, to be honest. They play very similar.
Oh,
yeah.
So good.
And so I think it's okay. And if we want to talk about Emma Hayes, like we needed someone like Emma Hayes. Yeah. We needed someone to change the way that the U.S. women's national team is run. It has been the same way for so long. I mean, when we were there, it was like you grind until you can't grind anymore, right? There was never, you were never secure. You were never like, I could have started for 3 years straight and I'm like, oh my God, I might not make this camp.
Yeah.
I might not get called into camp.
Yeah.
And it's like, how? How is that like the culture? But that was the culture. And that is what made us great. And I think that is super powerful. And also, things have changed. And people are different. Yeah. And this generation is different. And like, hats off to Emma. I think she's doing it the right way. I think she is meeting them where they are. And I think she's letting them be them. And I think that that's the first time in a long time that the U.S. women's national team has had the freedom to express themselves in the way that they want to. And I'm excited. I love them.
Same. We're just fans now.
Yeah.
We're just big fans now.
Outside of, you mentioned Lily, any other players?
Oh, Ali Sentner is amazing. Jaden Shaw, amazing.
We got to Utah Royals owner in the
Okay,
house.
can I tell you guys something? Please do not make fun of me.
Okay.
So all the young players, like some of them follow me on Instagram, some of them don't. I like added all of them and then
Totally. I follow him too. I'm like, follow.
and then after the game, one of the She Believes games, I think it was the first one, I'm like, you were phenomenal. If you need anything, I'm here.
I love that.
And you would like to talk. And so I'm like totally fangirling. Like
Did she respond?
yeah, all of them responded like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But I'm like, I'm old, y'all.
You're the auntie.
And I'm also like
the
a
auntie.
fan. I wanted to tell them like, thought you were phenomenal. Love the way you read the game. Lily, you play like you're 35. Like what? You're 17. I'm like so excited, but that's my confession.
I love it. Honestly, you brought up earlier, we were all at the Olympics last year together, and there was kind of a feeling of like, we didn't have a lot of connection with our past players. Like there wasn't the mechanism, like social media hadn't really popped off the way it was. We didn't see them a lot. And now there's like so much more of us still involved. And that's something that we talked about. Like we want to have that connection. We're their biggest fan. Like
Totally.
Even just from a selfish perspective, if the team's terrible after we leave, like that's a bad legacy. Like what the team's just like not good now. You didn't build a good foundation. But it's like, it is so cool to be able to be fans of them and still have that connection. Like the women's national team, the threads just, go all the way back to 85 or whatever, the first year of the team. Anyways, I'm just rambling now, but we just love them, basically what we're saying.
We were able to do a live show at the Olympics as well, and Mia Hamm came on, and that was probably my favorite part of that interview, was listening to her tell the story of Emma bringing the 99ers in to talk to the current team and just making that connection, because it is interesting in retirement. You can get lost a little bit as a player. You can get a little detached from different teams or different programs. And so to have someone, in this case, Emma, bring that all back in and just, again, watching Mia talk about it, kind of get choked up even, to keep that connection alive. It means so much to the younger players. I can only imagine what those players thought when they opened up their Instagram and saw that you DM them. But then it means a lot to you guys too.
Yeah, I was a little worried they'd be like, "Who are you?" But
no way. They know your stats. They know your stats. Okay, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna talk about, back when you retired, you did describe it as choosing your family. It was a choice. You started a family. You obviously now have a beautiful family with Drew. What's it like watching Drew? Like, what's it like, being obviously his wife, but watching him as an athlete go through his career? Obviously, he just won with Boston, won with Milwaukee a couple years ago. Let me check my facts, 16. Mm-hmm. So what's that experience like watching him?
Yeah, it's really fun. It's crazy. Like when Drew and I first started dating and then we got married, like I feel like it was all about me. Like I was on the national team. He went to 2011 World Cup. He went to 2015 World Cup. He went to the London Olympics. Like he was at all of those things with me. He just 2008 Olympics, he wasn't. And he experienced those things in Canada. He came for the entire time.
Wow.
And he brought my dad, so he is a saint.
Yeah.
Literally traveled with my dad 30 days across Canada with my dad, knowing it was my last one.
I've done the guest program now once. That's a grind.
Yeah,
that guest program
it's a different level.
Yeah. You don't get to stay with them.
No.
Point that out.
Yeah, so he could see me when he saw me.
Yeah, they have I don't know, what's it called in prison?
Conjugals?
Yeah, not conjugals. I meant yard time.
Oh, yard time.
Yard time.
Oh. Whoa. What?
That's what Meg meant too. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
Anyways,
recess.
So I feel like it was very much he was supporting me. He was with me there. And then when I retired, and obviously I had the brain tumor, he took off time, and I felt like a lot of it was about me. And now it's like so fun to just watch him. Like, I know that people watch Drew play and they're like, oh, he's so calm, he's so this. Like, it's really his personality. Like, Drew is pretty even across the board, like not too high, not too low. And he's like a player's player. Like, he wants to do the dirty work. He wants to show up. He doesn't want to take a picture. He doesn't want to like be on stage. He doesn't want to talk in front of a camera. And so like really just to watch him be recognized for everything that I've known that he is, I think that is my favorite part. And like to see him succeed and win 2 championships and 2 gold medals, I'm like, well, yeah, duh. Like he's always been this, you know? But like for the world to see it has been amazing.
You guys are so similar in that way. You said player's player, like just the person everybody wants to play with. Like Drew can score 25 points and like maybe he will sometimes, but he doesn't really care. We're the best goal scorer that I've ever played with, and your passing was like way better than that. That's just like always something that stood out. And I feel like in this next iteration of your life, something you choose over and over and over again is community. I feel like you were choosing it when you played, just the type of teammate you were, but off the field now and in your retirement, you choose community over and over. Drew and Lauren Holiday Social Impact Fund has been what you say your biggest accomplishment to date. Can you just tell us about some of the work that you're involved in right now and like what that foundation means to you? You said before also like you don't want to just have your name on stuff. Like you guys do so much incredible work and have for so long. Tell us a little bit about that, what it means to you and what you guys are into right now.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a lot of pressure to like only care about yourself. Like you put a lot of pressure on yourself if you're like, oh, I want to win. So like for me, like telling you you're the best player in the world, that's way more pressure on you than it is on me. And maybe that's selfish, I don't know. But that was kind of like what I adopted was like, if I can make Meg the best player in the world, or if I can make Abby the best player in the world, then that's only going to help us win, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think I adopted that really early on, actually in 2008 when I made the Olympic team after Abby broke her leg. I was like, I'm never going to play a minute, and this sucks because who wants to go to the Olympics and like never play? As a competitor, you don't want to. Like everyone should be like, oh, you're happy to play, but I wasn't. And I had to change my mindset of like, I'm going to be the best teammate, right? And I think that just is who I became and who I wanted to be. And I think off the court and off the field, it's the same. Like you see marginalized communities, you see people who are being mistreated and not treated the same as what I've been treated. And I'm married to my husband who has not had the same experience as me. I'm raising Black children in America. Some of my best friends are, married to other women, or they're transgender, or there's things that are happening where it's like they still deserve to be loved. They still deserve to have rights. And so I think that, honestly, that comes from my foundation, from my family, from my faith. And I believe that, like, I'm a Christian, and I believe that God is love, and I believe that that means loving all people. And so how do I show that in the way that I live? It's how you show up for people. It's with a conversation, a hard conversation sometimes, or when you see that a whole group of people are being mistreated, or not given the same opportunity, then it's my obligation to step in. It's all of our obligations to step in and to be their voice. And so I think that is truly how, thank you. I think that's how JLH started, was Drew didn't want to go back to the bubble. He was like, how am I going back to the bubble? You're pregnant with my son, who's Black, and George Floyd just happened. There's a global pandemic that's disproportionately affecting the Black community more than the white community. Like all of these things, he's like, what am I doing? Why am I going back? And I'm like, well, you not going, nobody's gonna care. And I mean that in the
harsh truth.
But I mean it in the nicest way.
Right, yeah.
Like that's, you taking a stand does nothing for anyone. Like truly, like you saying, no, I'm not going. So I'm like, how do you actually make an impact? And Drew was like, I don't know. And I was like, what if we just give away the rest of your salary? And if you know my husband, he said yes, thinking it was his entire salary. Like, that just doesn't matter to him. And that's how it started. And honestly, like, we tell everyone that's the easy part. Writing a check is the easy part. What these businesses, what these nonprofits are doing, that's the hard part. And right now, with like DEI being rolled back and things happening in our country under this administration, like, we need people more than ever to believe in each other. We need people to step up where they need to step up. And I think that hopefully we can continue to do that with JLH, but not only that, we can inspire others to do the same.
God, we need more of you guys
More,
in
I
the world. Clone them.
Okay, so we're gonna get into a couple games here, but before we do, something Megan and I talked about on the pod once before was soccer players playing basketball and vice versa. Megan thinks she's like an excellent basketball player. She rates you really high.
Yeah.
What is your take on your own basketball game?
I could play defense.
All right, so do you think you could post me up, back me down, and score on me the way Megan says?
Absolutely not. But I might be able to outrun you.
I
don't know.
What?
I might be able to outrun you.
I feel like you're a bucket.
Meg, I think that I was a bucket for soccer players.
Exactly.
However, I could defend. I would work really hard. I would defend.
Yeah, we'll work hard.
You're 3 and D? 3 and D?
We'll foul.
No 3, just the D.
3 and D without
just
the 3.
D. Yeah,
Got it.
just the D.
Okay, so Megan did this. You want to build a basketball team of national team soccer players. Could you do that?
You're
Just pick
obviously
5.
on my team.
Yeah. I would pick Meg.
So
it would
it's
be
me and Cheney.
Yeah, so me, Meg. Gosh, I'm trying to think now. Like, when I played the national team players that I played, I think I would pick Alyssa Nair.
Absolutely.
Need
She
some
was on my
height.
team.
Need some height.
She went to Huskies basketball camp when Sue was the
She was a
counselor.
junior. Yeah, Alyssa Nair was a junior Husky.
Big UConn fan. She's from...
So are you judging our pick, or?
No, I love it.
Okay.
And
you need some height. She's like
Lissy's
5'10".
just like crazy, so we need her.
I'm gonna go with Abby.
Yep,
Yeah.
she's tall.
I'm gonna go with Abby. She told me she was good once.
I can see her fouling a lot.
Yeah, she was she was
I don't
physical,
see the. Yeah, I want her on my team though.
Yeah.
I definitely want her on my team.
for sure. She'd be a good rebounder. She had good timing in the air.
She wouldn't get 1 rebound. I just want to be clear about this. You guys are getting no rebounds. Only if they went long.
We're all fouling out though.
Yeah.
Oh,
1,000%.
we need extra fouls.
Every single person.
like a handicap.
It's not, okay, I need one more. I need to think.
No, it's tough.
Maybe it's a 3-on-3 team.
No, I think I'm gonna go Hope Solo.
Okay. Guys got a lot of aggression on there.
Yeah, that's our only hope.
That's what I
Beat
said.
the
We're all,
shit out of you
we're all
guys.
fouling out.
All right, bench, start, cut. We've got 2 versions for you. Okay, from a trophy case standpoint, bench, start, cut, these achievements. Your own World Cup title, Drew's NBA title, or the 4 gold medals in your household.
Oh.
Bench, start, cut.
Well, I think that the start is my World Cup title.
Love it.
The bench is his NBA title, and then cut the 4 gold medals. I don't know
Gold
where they
medals
are
are
anyway.
out.
This is true. I know they're always like in a
I
weird
don't know where.
place.
They're probably still
They're in a drawer
bag.
anyway.
They're always in a drawer.
Okay, post-career workouts. We see you getting it on Instagram.
Oh, I'm having some knee issues right now, but
Yeah, that's
I
retirement.
was just battling some knee issues and I'm battling a hip issue.
It's a lot. Okay, boxing, treadmill run, yoga.
Oh, I'm starting boxing, benching, treadmill, and then yoga.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with
Yeah, I know. Running's hard. I've started running again. I'm like, oh, this is a lot. I'm like good at it, obviously, but then I'm also like, this is so hard.
I
I
think
told you, I
boxing's
saw
really
you
hard.
at Barry's, and I'm like, she never even ran when she was on the
I
national
know, and
team.
now I'm
Like,
kind of
what?
into it, but I'm also like, this is really hard.
I do all the classes.
Name all the classes that you do.
I do Barry's. Well, there's 2 in Seattle that are more like locals.
Okay.
but I'll shout them out. Shred 45, Rowdy Box. I do Rumble. I do, the hot yoga place, Bodhi. I do F45. The only one I haven't done is Orange Theory, and I'm like, I can't get into the heart rate competitive thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to know my splat points.
Too much.
But also Orange Theory, okay, this is a hot take. I think Orange Theory is like the elderly version of berries.
Oh. Okay, so I'm in the right spot. And
You're not elderly.
last but not least, I do Pilates, but more specifically Megaformer Pilates, SLT,
And the
some
tread.
solid core, and they have an SLT tread class. I mean, I'm booked all week, guys. You should see the apps I'm managing.
That's impressive.
It is. I'm motherboarding my apps in these classes. Like, 9 a.m. Can I get there? But it's
well balanced.
It's also mostly what it comes down to is there's no self-motivation left. That was all used up. Zero. So it's like, if somebody isn't telling me to do it, I'm just not. I'm like, what? It's like we have a gym in our apartment. I haven't been in there in
We live in New York now. We chose our apartment complex based on the workout facilities and that it had a pool.
stupid.
I have not been in that pool once.
No.
It was lofty goals, right?
Yeah.
We're like, we'll
swim
swim.
in
That'd be
retirement.
great. It's good for your body. I mean,
I haven't been in it once.
please.
Anyways, okay, so we're gonna take some Q&A from the audience before we head out of here. Does retirement make it easier or harder to be an activist? During your playing career, you have a built-in platform, but possibly also leagues or teams that want to have influence. So is it easier or harder?
I think it's easier. Back to what Meg was saying earlier, I feel like when you're in it, you're together, I feel like you live in a bubble. I don't feel like that you always live in reality. I used to have a friend that would tell me, like, you don't get to not text me back when you're in camp. And I'm like, oh, fair. Okay, you're right. You're still my friend in camp, too. Like, what a concept. But I think outside of it, it's easier to be an activist. You have more time, like you said, and it's just easier to see everything.
Yeah, you're like in the real world.
Yeah.
Okay, what are some of the biggest areas of untapped potential in women's sports? For example, a specific sport, an area of funding, or a gap in the media?
I think it's marketing. I think that's like the biggest gap. Like, why do people not know about us more? Like, you see men's stuff all over. It's all over TVs. It's all over every channel. It's all of that. So I think, like, put us out there, let people see us, and they're gonna follow.
Yeah. Okay, so on that note, do you have any advice for female athletes in sports that still lack awareness, attention, marketing for the actual athlete?
Yeah, I think, like, seek it, learn it. I do think that that's one thing I wish I did when I was playing, was that I wanted to learn the business side of sport more. I didn't care. Did you care? Like, I feel
Only
like you
till
were
later.
more. Yeah,
Later.
I just didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna play because I love to play, and then, like, I'm gonna go have fun when when I'm not playing. I'm gonna go do what I want and be with my family and do all of those things. So it's like, you have so much time, even though you're in a bubble. Like, invest that time in understanding it, and I think that will help immensely.
Yeah, you have been amazing at this, and this Sloan Conference is literally like a perfect case in point. Because I think even in the beginning, you started coming here before we met, but I was kind of like, what is it? And like, why are you going? Like, I don't really get how it works. You know, like, I know you're going to be there and wherever you are, it's good, but like,
I was like, 2 words, green room.
green room. Yeah. And it's like, we have the opportunity, whether it's like going to the White House because we won something and you get to meet the president and you get to meet all the people that work there, or you can go and, you know, be in a media room and like so many different journalists, or you're like, go to a speaking event and it's Fortune 500 CEOs, like, soak it up. I would say that to I think all the students in here too, and just to young people, you know, especially being at a university like this or having this kind of access, like, you have access to so many different kinds of people and expertise and opinions in different walks of life. I think just in general, like, don't pass that up. I do think sometimes it was like when we were younger, I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to play. And it's like, you can certainly do that. And then just know when you're done, like, it's going to kick you right in your teeth. Because then you're like, now you don't even know how to be in the world. So I feel like that is something that you have always been really amazing at, is like,
taking the time to talk to people and be interested and like learn things. And then now you're like pulling all of those levers and those threads back into your life in your retirement.
Yeah, I just think as an athlete especially, you're just going to be able to get into a lot of different rooms. You're just going to be in a lot of different rooms. So you want to make the most of those opportunities. Again, being your authentic self, all the things that have been talked about, honestly, all morning, even with your panel. But yeah, when you're in there, you make connections. You just never know who you're going to meet, what you're going to learn, how it could come back around, 6 months, a year, 5 years, whatever it is. You might cross paths again with somebody. So I guess come from a place of yes when it comes to those types of things. Okay. Did you have a moment where you realized that others were really catching on to the value of women's sports?
I think my moment was when I'm an investor in Angel City, and like seeing their valuation hit what it did, I was like, oh, this is real. And when you talk about trends, I'm like, that's not going to trend backwards. That's going to continue to rise. And I think that's when I was like, oh, people are going to be interested, even if it's not for the right reasons, because they actually believe they're going to make money off women's sports. And so I think that was like the realization of like, oh, this is real. This is happening.
Yeah. You have a good one.
What? Which one?
Paige Beckers and Hailey Van Lith's following.
Oh, yeah.
That was a long time ago. That was a really good light bulb moment for you.
Very quickly. So our CBA in the WNBA was being negotiated in the year 2019. We ended up signing it like January of 2020. And there was just something, I remember talking to people in our executive committee and, the ways in which it impacted was I kind of started to see with Paige Beckers, particularly, Hailey Van Lith a little bit, but really Paige, I was like, man, she's like a junior, maybe a senior in high school. I was like, something's different about the way people are following her, the way people are engaging with her. And it wasn't just young girls, it was boys too. It was men. There was just something different about how she was attracting people to her and then to the game of women's basketball where I was like, I think something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that actually really informed a lot of how I was approaching. I was an executive committee member, how I was approaching that negotiation. Because it was like, we can't think about like these next 2-3 years. We have to think when the Pages of the world, what ended up being, right, like the Angel Reeses of the world and the Caitlin Clarks of the world and the Cameron Brinks of the world. We're like, this needs to be in a good place. So when they come in, it just explodes. So yeah, thanks, man.
I got you.
Shout me on that one.
It was more than just her Riz hands, You guys know? Yeah.
Pages Riz hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Okay, 50 seconds, last but not least. It's a pretty easy one. What do you like as a sports fan? You talked about following Drew. You talked about the national team. Like, what do you like as a sports fan?
Depends on the sport. Women's national team, I am like all in, girl, like cheering. Also,
Yeah,
like
we were nuts.
I'm their auntie. Like even if I'm mad at them, I love them, and I'm like they're gonna be great. At Drew's games, I am a drag. I'm a drag. I am, and I'm like I really hope no one sits next to me because the amount of shit I talk is not okay. And it's not okay. And sometimes I'm like, I should just stay on the couch. I'm better on the couch, at home than
Couch coach?
someone possibly hearing what I say out loud in the stands.
In the wild.
I love that. Can't take the competitiveness out. I just like to say this is the first time we have ever finished this show on time. Woo! It helps having a clock. Yeah. Props to us.
Nice.
But of course, Lauren Cheney Holiday, thank you so much for joining A Touch More Live. That's our show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you to MIT Sloan. We had an unbelievable time. That's it for our episode. See you next week. Thanks to Degree for supporting A Touch More. On your busiest days, smelling nice can give you the confidence you need to keep going at full steam. Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray is designed to keep away odor while feeling light on your skin, so you can feel light on your feet. It provides 72-hour odor control, it's dermatologist tested, and aluminum free. From back-to-back meetings to working up a sweat on the court, Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray can keep you smelling fresh almost everywhere. Buy the new Degree Whole Body Deo for under $10 at Walmart now.